Testing. 1, 2, 3. Now I see the green bubbles. If he was with me earlier, hey, had some technical difficulties. It is what it is. You know what I mean? This stuff happens. You can't get around it. You can't get away from it. But you have a choice. You have a choice on what you're going to do when the pressure shows up. Uh, I'm not too sure on why it's not going to my thing, but that's neither here nor there. So we're going to run this back. Let me go ahead and share this real quick. Actually, let me share it so people can know what was happening, what was going on. I'm gonna go ahead and copy that link. Y'all gonna see this live right here. Okay, I guess I can't do that. And feeling untamed and off the chain. All right, what did I just do? Now I can't hear you. Can you hear me now? I see the little green bubbles coming up. So I know my mic's working. Oh, and we back. All right, let me get this chat so I can actually see it when I look up. All right, so let's roll this back. Let's roll it back. So what's up, y'all? My name is Chris T.J. Jones. Even though this is happening, feeling, I got the little stress sweat going on the back of my eye still. Uh, Welcome back. It's another episode of Execute Under Pressure, and no better way to show how it goes down than what just happened, right? So, if this is your first time, welcome. You've been rocking with me for some time. Hey, welcome back. Every Wednesday, we don't chase motivation here. Can you hear me now? It must be my. I don't know. I don't know. It's been working fine all day. But you can, as long as you can hear me, Christine, we cooking. We cooking with grease. You know what I'm saying? So whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat where you tuning in from. So, if you're here, I can see it. If you're not here on the replay, I just want to know where you're tuning in from. There we go. All right. So before we get started, I want to ask you a question, just a small question, just one. But I don't want you to answer me per se. I don't want you to answer me. I want you to answer this for yourself. Okay. So live from Be More. I love it. How many times have you learned something that changed absolutely nothing? Didn't change anything. Some good information, but it didn't change a thing. Like seriously, think about it. How many books have you read? How many podcasts have you watched? How many YouTube video trainings? We all part of YouTube University. How many conferences? How many sermons? What's your playlist look like? You know what I mean? How many journals, notebooks, planners? Like how many? How many do you have? I know I'm talking to somebody. I know somebody's gonna feel it, be like, "Hey, CJ, get out my pockets." So when you really think about it, like every January, or every time you get a new idea, or every time you get one of those new videos, or you're pulling off of a book or something. You got a brand new notebook. You got brand new pens. You know what I'm saying? You got brand new pens, nice pens, right? And you go into the whole thing thinking, all right, I got a new goal. I got a new idea. It's going to be a new me. And then a couple days, couple weeks, couple months later, somehow the notebook has half written pages. It's sitting on your desk collecting dust. It's sitting by your nightstand collecting dust. It's in the back of the car and it's slid up under your car seat, just sitting there. And so I used to think, okay, you know what? If I read the right book, or read the right sequence of books, everything will change. And so I'd read the book, I'd highlight it, the first read, I'd underline it, the second read. I'll take notes, I'll circle things that connect to one another. I tell everybody about the book. Hey, man, I got this new book. It's going to put everything together. It's going to piece all of it together. And I'm going to be a millionaire in 6 months. And you walk away from that conversation, and then you go right back to living the exact same way that you was living before. It's like you finish the podcast, and for 20 minutes or so, you felt like you could take over the world, especially like how some of these podcasts be going, hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. You know, you're 2.5 hours deep thinking like man, I got enough. I'm gonna run through this wall and I'm gonna get it all. Watch, by next summer, I'm gonna be out here. I'm not gonna be doing this anymore, right? But you're feeling it. You're absolutely feeling it. Pumped up, geeked up, super excited. Get out the car, and then you walk into work or you walk into the house, and somebody starts talking at their neck. Then, just like that, it's gone. No more motivation. No more taking over the world. So when I noticed that about myself, I started asking myself, I'm like, okay, if the information changes people, once we get it, like I see it happen, time and time again, because I used to listen to a lot of podcasts. They say, oh man, I picked up this book and it changed my life. So why, when I pick up a book, it doesn't change me? And if I'm being honest, that question used to piss me off. Like I know it's possible. I see them do it. Why can't I do it? Something's got to be wrong with me. Like I couldn't ever go into a situation or a space saying that I didn't know better. Like I knew better because I read the books, because I've done the research. I know better. I just wasn't better. So turn this inward. Be honest with yourself just for a little bit. How many of you already know the next healthy meal that you need to eat if you're on your health journey? How many of you know? You even put it in the chat. Yep, I know. I know what I need to be eating. I know, right? How many of you know that you should probably drink more water? Feeling a little dehydrated. How many know that you should probably move your body more? Especially, if you do stuff like this and you're not up and down, or you're not, walking around, you sit down half the day. Everyone knows. Maybe it's somebody that you need to forgive. Maybe it's a difficult conversation that you need to have. How many of you know there's a business idea? It's just brewing in you. It's sitting in your chest. Find yourself daydreaming about it, but you're sitting on it. I can't start because I need to. So the next question would actually be, if you already know, then what's the missing step? What's missing? Because we already know it can't be information. And to be honest, I really think we've been sold a lie since 2000. When the internet was getting jumping. It was becoming more and more in homes, and we were able to move around with it and all that good stuff. And the lie that was told was that the more information you have, the more information that you collect, the more it's going to change your life. And we ate that up. Man, I know physics, I know chemistry, I know about the planet and stars, I know what's in the ocean, I know how to build $1 million business or a little side hustle. I know all of it. I know how to raise kids. I ain't got no kids, but I know how to raise kids because I've read 27 books about it. I'm so interested in it. But we know collecting information ain't gonna do it. Like, I don't believe that to be true. Like, I think information is one of the easiest things that we can collect. Like, literally, we are drowning in information. Like, I like the interaction with my kids, but they'll ask me a question sometimes and be like, "Hey, how do you?" Or, "Man, I've been trying to figure out." And the first response now is, it's a common thing. Did you Google it? Did you get in? Did you get into the chat with it? What about Claude? Did you use Claude, or what do you use? Go ask that. I don't know. Go ask them. They know. Because all I'm gonna do is do the same thing I'm telling you to do. So really, we're drowning in information. But the one thing that we don't have, one thing that we're not drowning in, we are not drowning. We are starving for installation. I want y'all to write that one down. We're drowning in information while starving in installation. Like, think about it. Think about it. You can learn how to swim without ever touching the water. You can read every book about leadership. Yep, I'm a leader. I am a leader. But you can still avoid the conversations that when you are a leader, that what leadership requires you to do. Like, you can avoid that all day. You can read the books, but you don't have to have the conversations. Like, you can watch 100 cooking shows. Yeah, that's right. Action is missing. So you can watch 100 cooking shows, but never step foot into the kitchen and still DoorDash something every day. Shout out to the people that DoorDash. I love y'all. Like, this is what I'm saying. You can know exactly what to do and still not become the kind of person who does it naturally. So, like I said, our issue isn't learning. Our issue is becoming. And so there's something that it took me a while to admit. It took me a while to, really sit down and be like, okay, this is what it is. All right. When I left UPS, like, I thought changing my environment, where I go into every day, the type of work I did, I thought changing the environment was going to change my life forever. At least that's what I thought. I thought, you know what, if I just leave and finally become the full-time coach business owner that I'm supposed to be, everything's going to be okay. So I left. But you know what came with me? My operating systems, how I was living life, my thinking, my patterns, my negotiation when it's coming to do, hard stuff, my avoidance patterns, my inconsistencies, my emotional habits, they all packed their bags the same time I said, you know what, UPS, I'm out. And they clocked out of UPS and into my business from day one. It wasn't like they just kind of, formed themselves. No, from day one. So I changed where I was going. I changed my environment without actually changing what was already installed in me. And that's why for a short season, I don't want to say too short, but it was short. It was short enough to get my attention. My environment changed, but my execution didn't. It was a hard pill to swallow, and it was a hard lesson to learn. So last week, we talked about your execution systems. We talked about diagnosis. We talked about the system is always winning, right? And I had some people message me saying, "Hey, CJ, that one right there explains so much to me," and I'm glad it did. I really am. I'm glad it did. But tonight we are going to go one step deeper, just one. Because once you can see the system, the next question becomes, how do I actually change it? And the answer is you don't change the system by learning something once. Like you change it by installing something repeatedly, the reps over and over again. I think tonight is going to mess up some of y'all. I believe it. Someone out there is going to be like, man, dang it, CJ, get out my pockets. All right. So I don't believe, like I said earlier, I don't believe we have an information problem. It's readily available. I think we've been trying to educate what actually needs to be installed. I'm going to say it one more time. I think we've been trying to educate what actually needs to be installed. Like you've been feeding your mind while your operating system keeps running the exact same code. Remember, we're always talking about, your brain is meant to keep you safe. So you're trying to do some new things, but your code is still running. And until that code changes, the output usually doesn't change at all. So here's what I want to show you next. I think installation is happening every single day. I don't think there's a day that goes by that where you're not installing something. Right? So the question isn't, am I installing something? The question is, what am I installing? And once you see this, you'll never look at your daily decisions the same way. All right. So I told y'all, I don't think we have an information problem. We don't. I think we've been trying to educate what actually needs to be installed. Remember that. So I want y'all to hear me, and hear me well. Installation is already happening. Not tomorrow, not when you finally get fully disciplined, not when you buy another course or watch another video, or when new year, new me rolls around. Like right now, as you're actually listening to this, listening to me talk, something's being installed every single day. Your operating system is being shaped. And a lot of people miss this. Like you don't choose whether you're installing something, you choose what you're installing. Like, really think about it. Think about your phone. Think about your phone for a second. Your homeboy, your homegirl, your auntie, whomever. They say, hey, download this app. And you're like, bet, I'll download it. You get the details and everything about it, download it. And after a while, that app starts asking you for permissions, right? Hey, can I access your camera? Hey, let's download all your contacts. Hey, click the microphone. I want to send you notifications too. And if you're like me, just to get through to the app, I'll figure it out on the back end. You just press allow. But after a while, the app starts influencing how you use your phone. So think about your life. Like every repeated response is asking for permission. Oh, can I become your default response? Can I do this can I do this automatically? Let's automate this. Is that what you want to do? Can I become the way that you handle pressure? And every time you repeat that response, that action, that thought, you're hitting allow every single time. So when stress shows up, when stress hits your body, or not even hits your body, it just shows up in front of you. What's your default? When you're stressed out, like, do you isolate? Do you overeat? Do you hit hit the doom scroll? Do you open the app and say, "Hey Jeff, show me something I want to buy because I'm feeling a little stressed right now"? Do you shut down? Do you get busy so you don't even have to think about what you're feeling? Like really think about that. What's your default? Like, I'm not saying any of that to, shame you or anything. I'm just showing you. I'm asking because whatever you do repeatedly, your brain starts believing, oh, this is how it works. This is how we do this. Around here, this is how we do this. It doesn't matter what comes in front of you. So I was coaching somebody recently, and they kept saying, you know what? I need more discipline. If I get more disciplined, then I can really lock in, and then I won't be making any more excuses. And I'm listening. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. I like that. But I've also learned something, coaching people. People always diagnose themselves incorrectly. It happens. So I was like, all right, you need to do all that. Like, walk me through what happened, yesterday, or pick a day during the week. Walk me through it. And so they start telling me everything. They had a busy day. Then the pressure showed up, and then the phone call that was unexpected showed up. And so what they intended to do for that day didn't get done. Setbacks, putting out fires, it just didn't get done. That's the only thing that they really wanted to get done, but they were dealing with all types of other things. And I said, okay. Well, when you realize that, what happened? Like, what did you do next? And he was like, you know what? I just shut down. And I was like, understandable. Sometimes it's a little much. Got, take a break, 5-10 minute break, and then you get back at it. But me being curious the way that I am, I was like, done that. Like, how many times let's start with how many times a day, and then how many times a week. And they were like, I do that a lot. Like, a lot. I said, okay, cool. Thank you for your honesty. So you're not really dealing with a discipline problem. You're dealing with whatever is installed is the way that you respond. Like, I guarantee it. I don't think that guy, I don't think you, not even me, we don't decide, once we get up in the morning that, you know what, I think 2 o'clock is a really good shutdown time. I think 9 a.m. Yeah, I'll be an hour in, then I'm just going to completely shut down. Now we don't do that with my coaching. I've changed couple things here and there. Like, so I stopped asking people. Why'd you do that? Like, what's the why behind that? Nah, that don't work. That don't work, because every time you ask that, it's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't a clue. That's why I'm talking to you. So I was like, man, like, I know they know. I know they know, but sometimes the answer that comes up just that they don't want to face. So instead, I started asking, what has your system been practicing from? We could talk about now. We could talk about before now. Before a couple of years back. What have you learned along the way? What is it practicing right now? Like, one of the questions, like I said, why do you do that? It produces shame. Now, I don't like bringing people to shame. But the other question produces curiosity. Like I said, I'm curious by nature. So let me ask you this: have you ever driven to the grocery store? Good old Walmart. Go into Walmart. You know what? All I need is a pint of that milk and cookies ice cream by Ben and Jerry's. That's all I want. That's all I'm going for. But somehow you walk out with like a full groceries. Oh, that's right. I'm cooking that, so I'm gonna need some of that. And then, oh man, I know we're getting low on kitty litter. Oh, maybe need food. I don't know. And you're sitting in the middle of the store calling people like, oh, hey, go check in the garage. Hey, go check upstairs. Hey. And then you leave with all that stuff, but you don't come out with what you intended to go there for. So what happened? In that moment, what happened? The only thing you did was respond to cues. That's it. You were intentional about getting the ice cream, but those cues started popping up, and you've practiced those cues, not cubes, cues. Something about walking in, you see the lights hit you, and your body's like, all right, what do we need? I know we're here for this, but we put that to the side. What do we need? I mean, since you're already here, we might as well pick up everything. Walmart has some good marketing, or wherever you're from, Aldi's has some good marketing. They understand installation. That's why everything that's in Walmart or in those stores, it's placed in a way that it's automatically going to get you triggered. It's automatically going to get you, hey, with this being here, you know that they're going to respond to this. And so if companies actually understand this, how repetition creates automatic responses, why don't we think the same thing is happening inside our own lives? Had another conversation this week. The person was saying, I just don't believe myself. I said, really? I was like, okay, tell me, why don't you believe yourself? And so they started listing all their past failures, times that they quit, times that they started and was like, I know myself. Times that they didn't follow through, times that they, broke promises to themselves. And so I said, can I tell you what I'm hearing? And naturally they're like, yeah. I was like, you don't have a confidence problem. And that made them, kind of do the tilt up and be like, what the hell is CJ talking about? Look back to me, it's like, you have an evidence problem. Because every broken promise installed another piece of evidence. You didn't do this, so you have the evidence that, okay, you can't finish. You have the evidence that you'll start something and won't see it through. You quit something, that's evidence. It's more evidence of, you can't trust yourself. And after a few times of doing that over and over and over and over and over again, it starts feeling like your identity. This is just who I am. I'm a starter, not a finisher. I got all the ideas, I just never put them into play. And that's the dangerous part. Like most people think, what, if I could just think more positively, everything would change. Like I'm all for healthy thinking, yeah, definitely do that. But positive thoughts don't erase, installed responses that's in your body. Like they've been practiced, repeated, reinforced until they become automatic. And that's your default to everything. All right. So I'm gonna roll this back into you. Okay. So think of one area. Think of one area where you keep restarting. And now is the time to be honest with yourself. Like, don't just pick the area that makes you feel good, or I just started making, pick one area that where you keep restarting. You start it and then you drop it and then you pick it back up, start it, drop it, pick it back up. Like you don't have to say it out loud. Don't even put it in the chat. Just think about it. Okay, so if you've got your area, you got your one area, ask yourself, what have I been rehearsing in that area? Not what, what you've been hoping for, or what have you been not what you've hoped for, but what have you been rehearsing? That's where I wanted to go with that. And remember hope, like when there's a saying, figure it's what conference was that at? It was at a conference, one of the conferences I went to. went to. And hope is a dangerous word. We like to hear it, but hope is just you're still blowing the dice. Because when you think about hope, it doesn't install an identity. I hope this works. We'll see. Well, you know what does work? Practice. And so when I left my job at UPS, I've been leaning heavily on God. I thought I was leaning before. No, I wasn't. But after leaving, yeah, heavily. And God has taught me over the last few years, like you don't become what you occasionally desire. You become what you constantly rehearse. That's why installation is always happening, whether you're paying attention or not. All right. So we have the answer to the one question. Installation is always happening. Like we know, we're good. It's always happening. We don't get to choose. It's always happening. But like I said, I'm curious. One question opens up another question. And that question is, how exactly does installation happen? Is it just repetition? Like you tell me. You tell me. Is it just repetition? Or is there something deeper to that? Something deeper that actually turns repetition into identity. So that's where we're going. We're going next. All right. So remember, installation is happening, whether you realize it or not. So that opens up another question. How is that possible? Like how? How does thought become a habit? How does a habit become identity? How does somebody waking up one day and then they say, this is just who I am? It's how I've always done things. And every time I hear that, I don't believe it. I don't believe people really wake up and decide, you know what? I think I'm going to be inconsistent. I think I'm going to procrastinate. I don't think people wake up and say, you know what? Today I'd like to become someone who doesn't trust themselves. Doesn't happen. Like, I don't believe anybody chooses that. They may accept it, but I don't think they choose it. So how does it happen? So I've been working on this for a while. If you're new here, I take conversations that I have, with clients and just regular conversations, real conversations, and I dissect them. And I'm like, okay, I really think and sit on these things. And so I've been working on this for a while, and what I've been seeing, inside of those conversations. And I finally realized it. It's not random. All of it is a process. All of it. Every last bit of it is a process. And I want to give you that process. So for you note takers, whether you're going to come back to this video or you're actually taking notes right now, this is how it starts. Write this out. First word is awareness. Second, you can arrow from awareness and move it over on arrow to the right. Then you have authorization. Draw another arrow, then repetition. Another arrow, meaning, arrow, emotion, arrow, self-trust, arrow, and then you have identity stabilization. I'm not going to go over that again. That was a lot. Catch the replay. You know what I'm saying? Now, like for real, don't try to memorize it. I just want you to see it. And if you've been rocking with me, everything starts with awareness. Like you notice something. You notice, okay, I procrastinate. I do that. I avoid conflict. It's too much. I don't want to mess with it. I shut down. It's too much. I don't want to mess with it. I overthink, which paralyzes me. When it comes to my finances, you know what? I tend to buy stuff to regulate my emotions. Some people buy food, get a double. That's awareness. And awareness is a beautiful thing, but awareness alone has never changed anybody. This is considered like the invitation, not the transformation. And then you have authorization. All right, so you got the awareness. What's next? It'd be the authorization. Usually, this is where people get stuck because awareness says, you know what, I see it. Authorization says, you know what, I'm done negotiating with it. I know I should be doing this. It leaves from that to like, I must. Think about it. Most people, like when you think about how people operate, like most people, they're not going to argue with other people unless you like to argue. I don't know. It's neither here nor there. But most people aren't going to argue or negotiate with anybody else. I just don't have the energy. I don't have the time. But you'll argue with yourself. You'll negotiate with yourself. I'll start that on Monday. Don't even worry about it. It's Tuesday, sir, ma'am. It's Tuesday. You're gonna start Monday. Oh man, today didn't work out. I'll be better tomorrow. We'll restart that tomorrow. Or man, I'm super tired. I'll do it in the morning. Oh man, I don't feel ready for that. So I'm gonna wait. Maybe next month. You know what? 2 months. Give me 2 months. I'll be all right. Oh, I'm gonna go on vacation, so I can't. I can't do it. I'll do it after I get back. That's negotiation. When you know you should be doing something that you need to be doing for the life that you said that you wanted, and you're like, now it's not a good time. And every negotiation is the installation of who you're becoming. Like you can't install what you're still debating on. All right, so the next one is repetition. Right? So what happens? You got awareness, you got authorization, then you stop negotiating with yourself. Now you choose one action, one response, one different decision. And here's where most people think, you know what, the work is done. It's done. I don't have to do no more. Right? But we know, especially if you've been rocking with me, one repetition doesn't install identity. One workout doesn't make you healthy. One apology doesn't make you humble. Because you created a budget, it doesn't make you financially disciplined. One repetition is simply the first brick. You put the brick down, you go home. Put another, come back the next day, bam, put another brick down. That's where everyone usually quits. Like they mistake the first brick for the finished product, the finished building. All right, so the next one is meaning. Meaning. Now, for me, I know having being in the coaching space. When I say the coaching space, I mean like actually being coached, not me being a coach, but actually being coached. It changed everything for me. Like two people can do the exact same thing, the exact same action, and install completely different identities. Just because you saw so and so do it doesn't mean you're going to have it the same way. You're not going to act the same way. Especially if you turn it on its head and you take it to a point where like two people can fail. Two people could lose their job. Person one says, you know what, see, they messed me over, Can't believe they fired me. They should have fired so and so because they don't do. I'm always picking up their shifts and always doing this, and they got the nerve to fire me. Person two says, "Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all want to get rid of me? Now I know what I need to adjust. Now I got the time, the space, the availability to take care of the business idea that I got. Like they both got fired, same event, but each one attached a different meaning to it, which means they attached a different installation. Like your life isn't just shaped by what happens; it's shaped by what you believe what happened means. I say it again. I say it again. Your life isn't shaped by what happens, it's shaped by what you believe what happened means. Like I've coached people who turned one mistake into a life sentence. They accepted it. Whatever thought that ran across their mind of, oh man, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm always this, I'm always that. Life sentence. This is why I never finish. I'm just lazy. I'm not a leader. I can't do that. But in the same sense, I've coached people who look at have been through the same process that the first person was at, and they said, you know what, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. And then they go in to dissect what was happening. They're collecting data. In one of the communities I coach for, we got this saying that says data over drama. Data over drama. No, y'all probably heard me say this before, but data over drama. Like you gotta have the data to make a proper decision. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, the next one, emotions. Emotions make me cry sometimes. Emotions. I won't do that to y'all. My bad. My bad. All right, let me get back on it. All right, so all right, so here's the part that I think most people miss about emotion. Like emotion is what hardens the insulation. Getting emotionally involved with it. It's like concrete. Or yeah, like concrete. Like you pour it, concrete doesn't come out hard. It's soft. You gotta water it, it's powder, you know what I mean? But eventually it becomes what we walk on, what we drive on every single day. Emotion does that same thing. Like think about it. Let's start with a bad event. Something bad that happened in your life. The reason why you remember it is because there was high emotions in that spot. But it's the same thing when it comes to the good moments. Time you were, sitting with your friends and you laughed so hard, milk came out your nose, water came out your nose. Time when you was at the club and so, high emotions. Like it doesn't matter what it is, embarrassing moments, rejection moments. You won the chip when you were in high school. The divorce you went through, the promotion you got, the betrayal that you experienced, the birth of your child, the funeral of that one family member or friend that was super close to you. Emotion locks meaning into your memory, and memory begins influencing who you are, your identity. So now that you've repeated something, you've attached a new meaning to it, you've experienced it. What happens next? Data over drama. Data over drama. You collect the evidence. One kept promise, then another, and then one day you're gonna look up without even realizing it's just gonna be one of those things. You're gonna be sitting there going back over, and you're like, you know what? I'm the type of person that follows through. I always meet my appointments. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And once you get to that point, now your standard's gonna raise. You're expecting more of yourself. That's what self-trust looks like. Not confident, not confidence, evidence. And last but certainly not least is the identity stabilization. It's a beautiful place to be. Like that's when you stop thinking. You stop thinking like, you know what, I need more, I need to become more disciplined. You just simply are. That's who you are. Without question, without having to really think about it, put it in the calendar. This is just what you do. Like you stop acting like a leader and you are that leader. You just simply lead because it's who you are. You respond differently because now you're patient. It's your default response. Somebody talking out their neck, first thing you ask is like, "Hey, what man, what's going on?" You respond in a way to where you're not cussing anybody out. This is how people change. That's how it happens. But don't get it twisted. It's not overnight. It's not overnight at all. It's not through one breakthrough. It's not because you found the perfect podcast or the book was just that fire. It's not that. They keep moving through this process over and over and over again. But even though we have this process, this framework, and everything, there's still one missing piece. Just one, maybe, maybe. So now you understand the engine works. But what actually feeds the engine? What are things that actually strengthen that or weaken that? Like at every stage. I know it's a good question. Good question. So, all right. All right. So let me coach y'all just for a second. I love what I do, and I'm gonna continue doing it, God willing. So let me see if I can find that. Mm, 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 Nope. All right. So I can't find it. I was going to see if I could pull it up. Oh, I may have to do Zoom for that. See, we learn something new every day. All right. So if we ended this live right now, all you would leave with is just more information. And if all you left with this live was more information, then I failed. I failed completely. I don't want you leaving here with just information. I don't want you leaving here just thinking differently. I want you to leave here beginning to install something. You know, remember, it's still being installed. It doesn't matter, but I want you to intentionally install something. All right, so we're gonna do something. All right. So you remember that one area I told you earlier to think about? You know, where you keep restarting? Just one area. You don't need to pick all five. I know someone's like, you know what, I need my finances, my health, my marriage, my relationship with my kids. I want to get right with God. My time is kind of off. Yeah, I want to do all those. No. Just pick one. Just one. Doesn't matter if it's your health, marriage, like all the things that I said. Just pick one of those. And so whatever it is, I want you to picture it. I want you to see it. But I don't want you to think about the result of what it could be. Think about what it is. Be honest about what it is in this moment, right now. And in that moment, what usually happens? Right before you quit, right before you say, this is just me, right before you say, you know what, I'll do that on Monday. What happens? Like, think about what happens. Like, what's that moment? When do you start to negotiate with yourself? when you start kind of making deals with yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're like, you know what? If I don't do this now, my saying for a while was, you know what? I'll get it on the back end. I'll get it on the back end. Right now, I'm a little tired. Or you know what? If I don't get it on the back end, I can do it tomorrow morning because I don't have anything to do tomorrow morning. So yeah, you know what? Forget the back end. I'll just do it tomorrow morning. Yeah, really think about that moment. When do you start to negotiate? When you start saying to yourself that you're tired, or you'll start on Monday, like see your problem, and then realize like it's not the result. Like you not having that is not the problem. The problem is the moment before you actually having that breaks down. So here's the question. When you're looking at that, you find that moment, what has your system been practicing this whole time? This entire time, what has your system been practicing? In that moment. Not all day. You don't have to go for the day or the week or anything. Just in that moment with that one area that you picked and you're looking at the problem, what system has been running? What has your system been practicing? When pressure shows up, what has your system rehearsed? What's your go-to? You binge watch TV, doom scroll, you avoid, you come up with all the excuses in the world on why it can't happen. Because whatever you practice, that's your system. Your system trusts that over anything. All right, for you note takers, if you're following the steps, we're on step 4. Step 4. And so now that we figured out the first 3 steps, step 4, we're going to interrupt that whole process. You don't have to have a new goal. You don't want a new goal right now. Just one response, one new response. What could you do instead of being like, man, I'm tired and I'll get it on the back end, or I'll start it tomorrow? What's one new response? You're still going to be tired, but what's one new response that you can install? Just one. Just one. That's all you need. If your system normally shuts down, maybe your new response is, I'm going to take the next step before I stop. Meaning, man, I can't remember how many lives ago that was, but I usually shut down in hard conversations, or I used to shut down in hard conversations. Language matters. So I would go into the conversation, and 5-6 sentences in, I'm blowing up. All right, blowing up. So my response to change that was take a breath, pause, and then continue talking. The first few times, when I say few, I mean more than few, but few is a better way to put it. First few times I get to that point, take my breath, start talking, and I'd feel good, and then I'd blow up not too long after that. But the more I did it, the more I was aware of what was happening. I can't continue yelling and screaming and all that good stuff. We've got to get through these conversations. It's a must for me. Take the breath. One sentence turn into 2 sentences, 2 turn into 6 sentences. Next thing you know, it's like we get to a resolution, and I haven't raised my voice. I haven't shut down, but I practice that response. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate yours at all. Don't have to overcome. Just something simple. Like I said, I was taking a breath, deep breath, stomach breath, but it was specific. So every time I took a deep breath, even if I hadn't said anything, it was a trigger on, okay, you're not doing this old response anymore. You're doing the new response. Like you always hear me say, we're not trying to change your entire life tonight. Just one thing. Just one new response. So step 5. Here's an important question. You might want to write it down. Step 5. What is that? What is this new response? What does it prove about who you're becoming? Not what does it accomplish, but what does it prove? Like if you keep the promise, what does keeping the promise prove? If you finish it or you tell the truth, or does it say, does it prove that you can trust yourself? You're trustworthy? All right. So, like I said, we're collecting data, collecting data. So tomorrow, when you do that one response, the one that you just came up with right now, celebrate because it got done. Don't celebrate because I got a new task and I got it done. Yes, celebrate because now you're starting to collect evidence. Like, oh, CJ, what evidence are we collecting? So glad you asked. So glad you asked that. I heard it. The evidence that you're collecting is that the old system doesn't get the final vote anymore. It's evidence that you're becoming someone new. Evidence that your word carries weight. When you say, oh, I'm gonna do this, there's some people out there that are going to look at you and be like, not you. You saying that all the time. No. You got your new response now. I said I was going to do it. So now your word carries weight when you say something. Then you can start walking with confidence. You know what confidence is? Like I used to think confidence was something that you felt like I had the glow, like Bruce Leroy. You know what I'm saying? I got the glow. That's what I thought it was. Now I think that confidence is something that you remember. Yep. It's like you remember the promises that you kept. You remember the moments you followed through. You remember that you didn't quit. Confidence is just accumulated evidence. I know I can do this because I've done it before multiple times. So if you think you need to gain confidence or you lack confidence, stop chasing confidence. Collect the evidence first. And then before you know it, confidence will be looking for you. Stop chasing confidence. Collect the data. All right. And so, man, if you know me, this pops up in scripture also. When God called people, he almost never handed them the finished picture. He gave them one act of obedience. If they did it, cool. Here's another one. They did that one, cool. Here's another one. Like the heroes. I don't want to call them heroes, but the people that we remember that come from the Bible, like faith wasn't installed through one giant miracle. Like it was strengthened through repeated obedience over and over again. Every act of obedience became evidence. Some people got it quicker than others. But yet and still evidence, the evidence built trust. And then that trust built an identity, and the identity changed nations. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe God isn't asking you to change your whole life tomorrow. Maybe he's just asking you to just repeat it. One obedient response at a time. All right, so got to the end of that. About to wrap this up, but before I wrap this up, I like to end these lives with a challenge. Always, you gotta leave with a challenge. You gotta have something to do, right? So here's your challenge. All right, so for the next 7 days, from Wednesday today to Wednesday next week, don't chase 10 habits. Not at all. Don't go out there and make 20 promises. Don't blow your life up. Don't try to redesign everything at one time. Just choose one thing, one moment, and give it one response, and then repeat it every single day. And when you miss, don't look at it as, okay, I got to restart. No, you're just resuming. You're just keep going what you initially started to do. Because when you look at, people building houses, any type of construction, they don't tear down a house because one brick went in crooked. They fix the brick and keep it pushing. They adjust. They keep building. And so that's what you're going to do this week. All right. All right. Like I said, at the end of the day, man, this life didn't even start the way I wanted it to. But hey, we make it happen. We execute under pressure. So if tonight helped you, whether you're on live or you're watching the replay, I'd love to help you personally. Like, this is what I do every week. I help high performing leaders diagnose execution systems that's running their life. And I install one that performs even under pressure. Like I said, I started this go, had the stress sweats. It was getting all hot. My ears were getting all hot because it wasn't working the way I wanted to. But under pressure, we still make this happen. So if you're ready for that type of conversation, my link is in the description. Like, comment, share on this video, and go check out some of my other ones. Like, we could build something together. So for years, transformation happened the day I learned something new. I really did. That's why I got the notebooks. That's why I got the books. That's why I subscribe to all types of podcasts. That's why I have Audible. You know what I mean? But now I know transformation happens the day I repeat something new long enough. Like, it no longer feels like I'm trying something. Now it feels like it's just who I am. Like, I slowed down on the book, slow down on the podcast, and I picked my one action and I installed it. And once that one was installed, I picked another. That's insulation. Like, that's why we don't chase motivation here. That's why we don't, worship discipline. That's why we build identities. It is what it is. Execution under pressure. So until next time, work on that one thing, install that one response. Again, Chris CJ Jones, feeling untamed and off the chain. And remember, identity, execution, self-trust, and remember, information just fills notebooks. That's all it does. Like I said, information just fills notebooks. I got more. I do have more, but I'm not going to pull them all out. But installation, that when you start installing, that changes your life. So till next time, catch y'all on the next one. Peace.